Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of lines parallel or perpendicular to axes. This is standard A.2G in the great state of Texas. We are using item number 21 off the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. Alright, so we have a line graphed on this coordinate grid. You would think it's a linear function because it's straight, right? It's not a parabola or exponential or anything like that. But we actually can define it in a slightly different way since it is a straight vertical line. So when you get a straight vertical line or a straight horizontal line, there's actually a different way you can define that. So let's open up our graph draw feature so we can draw all over this thing. So we need to find two things. We need to find the equation of the line, and then we need to define the slope, or we need to describe what the slope is. And so all we have is just the visual. So let's plot a few points, right? So I'm just going to grab a few points here, right? So this is x of -4, y of 4, and then we've got x of -4, y of 1, x of -4, y of -4, and you know what, if I were to grab another point here, hopefully we're seeing this pattern, x of -4, y of -1. So anywhere I put my dot here, even not on the integers, right, I could do it on the decimals in between. The y value is going to change, but the x value is going to stay the same. It's going to be -4 because it is a straight vertical line. So when we get a line that is vertical, which means it is parallel with the y-axis, it is perpendicular to the x-axis, we can describe it simply by its x-coordinate. Okay, so we can say x equals -4. That is a valid way of describing this. We don't need to give you any y-coordinate, because what that means is that every single y-coordinate you can think of, and since these are lines, they go on for eternity, every single y-coordinate is just going to match with the x-coordinate of -4. So if we're looking here, right, we do see that I've got an x equals -4 and x equals -4, but then I've got two that are y equal -4s. Okay, so what are those all about? Well, if y is -4, it's going to be a line that's parallel to the x-axis, right? So when y is -4, this is what it looks like. It's another straight line, but it's horizontal rather than vertical. So we're not going to need those two. So we're just looking at a and c because x is equal to -4. Now we need the slope, right? So our slope, remember, is our m, right? So it's the change in y over the change in x. Sometimes we call it the rise over run. All right, so let's take two coordinates, right? We had the -4, 4, right? So if I went from -4, 4 to, let's call it -4, 2. Okay, so I went down 2, right? And then I didn't go side to side any. I stayed at the same x-coordinate, so it'd be over 0, right? Or I can do this one right here, -4, 1, right? I can go down to -4, 4. So I went down 1, 2, 3, so that'd be -3. But then I didn't move side to side any. There's no change in x, so it'd be 0. Well, here's the problem. Try dividing by 0 on your calculator, and you're going to get an error message because you can't take groups of 0. I don't care whether it's -2 or -3 or 18 or a million. The groups have to be greater than 0. So when you divide by 0, both of these will actually just be called undefined. So when you have a vertical line, you actually have an undefined slope because there's no change in 0, which means you're dividing by 0, which is an error. You can't take groups of 0. So there's our answer right there. Answer is A. With a line of x equals -4, the slope is undefined.